Hello my little cups of tea, this is Mochi and today we're going to be playing a game that is an indie game and it is called Idol Manager, and as you can probably guess it is about managing idols. I really like this game quite a lot and I think it is very interesting. It is still in beta, but I pre-ordered it because I find the concept really interesting. It is about managing idols, yes, but it also deals a little bit with the, so to say, darker side of idols in a little bit of a comic manner. So it's a really great game right now. Of course it is still in beta, so if you want to buy it you can do so in itch.io. So well, let's just get down to it, I assume. Let's go. Of course, first you have to create your character. Of course, that's the person that's going to be the idol manager. Let's call myself Mochi. Oh dear, Mochi. I am not used to this keyboard. Mochi, yes. And my group name shall be the Mochis, I guess. That's kinda cute. Let's go. It has several difficulties, as you can see, because of course it is a bit of a challenge to manage idols, to keep running an entertainment company efficiently. So if you're just starting out, I would recommend Relaxed, because it is actually quite easy to bankrupt in this game. And in my first playthroughs, I was like, since it was still in beta, it didn't really pose a problem for me, but I was bankrupt constantly. Like I couldn't get out of the hole. I will play on normal because I figure out after my first couple of play runs I will be able to handle it, but we never know. Let's see how it goes. Okay, there we go. Oh, are you here to meet with Fujimoto? Sorry to break it to you, but he's not here right now. If you had an appointment scheduled for now, well, you might be waiting for a while. Fujimoto has a bit of a habit of keeping people waiting. Where is Fujimoto? Hey, do I look like I know? I don't even work here. I mean, it's not like anyone works here, right? Not at the moment, at least. If you wanted to meet anyone who works for Fujimoto, well, you showed up a week too late. What's going on? What happened a week ago? Oh, you didn't know? Well, this building might look like a ghost town now, but it used to be home to some very lucrative businesses. Oh, is this... Oh... They were the kind of businesses that turn a very large profit, but they did most of their business in cash, if you catch my drift. Fujimoto runs the kind of businesses that favors profits over morals. Kicking it old school with the world's oldest profession. Oh. Of course, the local law enforcement were usually willing to turn a blind eye as long as they got a cut of the action. But ever since our city was chosen to host the upcoming Olympics, the higher-ups have started cracking down on that sort of thing. You may notice that I don't really remember the dialogues, and it is because I haven't played this game in a long while, so forgive me if I get surprised by anything that is not a lot surprising. It's almost like a first playthrough for me too. Okay, I guess Fujimoto decided to clean up his act before the police had to get involved, which would explain why this building is not empty, and some of the neighborhood's finest massage therapists are now finding themselves out of a job. But I guess their loss is your gain, right? That's what you're meeting Fujimoto about? Well, as best as I can gather, Fujimoto's goal is to clean up his act. But let me give you a piece of advice. People don't change their ways so easily. You dig? If you want to run things squeaky clean, you'll be running against the grain. Why are you bad-mouthing Fujimoto? Bad-mouthing? Honey, I'm just trying to tell you like it is. A word to the wise, if you will. Is that enough gossip? I'm just trying to impress upon you that Fujimoto is probably desperate to fill his space with some kind of business. Whoever fills it could probably get away with running it at a loss for the foreseeable future. One of the benefits of not caring where your money comes from means you can accumulate out of it, and Fujimoto spent a lot of time not caring where his money came from. Anyway, I have already said too much. Enjoy your meeting with Fujimoto, right? Okay, so I guess we are meeting with Fujimoto now, if I remember correctly. Ah, you are much Benny, right? Sorry to have kept you waiting. Good to finally meet you in person. I must admit I am a bit surprised to see you are so young, but entertainment does not seem to be a young person's game, especially when it comes to managing talents. Anyway, your age is less important to me than your experience, which was enough to impress me. I'm glad you are impressed. The thing that caught my eye, however, wasn't your education, or even your most recent work experience. I was most impressed by the fact that you worked at a convenience store in high school. Most people wouldn't brag about working at a convenience store, but to a part-time store, but to become a part-time manager at such a young age is certainly unusual, especially given that I happen to know that convenience store. It's in a pretty rough and tumble part of the town. You're someone who knows how to get things done, aren't you? Managing an idle agency isn't exactly the same thing as running a convenience store, but you have to deal with a lot of the same problems. Young employees who are trying to balance school and work, running on a tight budget, keeping customers happy. If you know the business fundamentals, I think you will do well here. And if you don't yet know everything you need to do, I hope you will learn fast. So anyway, I have the paperwork here if you're ready to sign. Your terms are, well, let's just say that they are the best terms I was able to get on such a short notice. Anyway, I don't want you to think of me as your boss. You're the boss, I am just a sponsor, an investor, if you will. This is your enterprise and I am just paying myself a piece of the action. When it comes to starting capital, I am afraid I can't offer much in the way of cash. My investments haven't left me very liquid and I am taking a loss of a significant portion of my portfolio, you see. Part of the reason this building happens to be vacant. But I can offer you use of the bottom floor, rent-free. Pretty lucky of my loss to turn into your gain, isn't it? This kind of generosity isn't typical for me, so don't get used to it. Why are you doing this? I already said it, didn't I? I just want a piece of the action. You do all the hard work, and if you turn out to be a success, I get some of the prestige by association. If it fails, well, it won't be the first business venture I have seen fail. Plus the trust is I need someone to feel his property. If you let a space go unused for too long, it can start to look run down, and that can affect the value of the surrounding property. It's not good to have a building that never has anyone living or entering. But if you start spending and taking up more space, you're going to have to pay rent for the space you move into. It's a bit early to worry about that, though. For the time being, I assume you will be focused on getting some starting talent, training them up, doing basic promotion, and most importantly, getting yourself a fan base. I don't know everything about the entertainment industry, but one thing I do know is that we are nothing without fans. An idol group lives or dies based on the size of the following it gets. Of course, I am not saying you shouldn't pay attention to your bank account, but if you're not increasing the size of your following, you are probably doing something wrong. Plus, there's me to think about. One of the reasons I wanted to sponsor an idol group is so that one day I can turn on a TV or pick up a newspaper and see people talking about something I helped create. So go out there and make me proud. So, are we ready to formalize the agreement, or is there anything I forgot to cover? There was a man who told me things about you. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Probably some local gossip monger. You might hear rumors about me. Some are true, most aren't. I used to own several businesses in this neighborhood, but I live on the other side of town, and I am not always the most involved person. That seems to have lent me a certain mystique to the people who know who I am, but aren't used to see my face around here. I hope you don't expect to be working too closely with me. Like I said, you are the boss. I am just offering you the resources. I drop by every now and then. I try to stay out of the people's hair. Plus, I've got other ventures competing for my attention. But if you're putting on a big show, let me know and I'll try to stop by. Hey, getting VIP tickets to every event is supposed to be one of the perks of backing up this whole venture, right? So, there we go, we are getting started. Right now we are on pause, of course, so we can, overlook a little bit of what our business is. We are starting with 5 million yens, which is quite a great deal. To the sides we have the idols tab, the staff tab, activities, singles, media, special events, research, SNS, and the settings. Of course, right now the most important part is not getting the idols. Interestingly enough, the most important part is creating some room for people to work with. So we have the lower floor. We are going to need an office for ourselves to work in. We are the managers, so we will be, as you can see, selecting the idols, creating the lyrics for the singles, creating concepts, putting on the productions, etc, etc. So that's the first step, I guess, to properly working. After that, of course, we are going to need at least an office for people to manage the business proposals. So as you can see in this tab, the office manages singles, pre-production, logistics, etc, etc. They are also the ones getting you deals with the media, for example, magazine covers, grabber photo shoots, TV announcements, etc, etc. So when you are starting out, it's quite an important part. It might very well be the most important part because advertisement is all when it comes to the idol business. So there we go. Of course, you're going to have to hire people for this. Let's see if I remember the tab where it is located. I think it is in research. You're going to need producer. No, it's not here. Let's see. Special events. Single activities, staff. In the staff tab, there is of course me, which I will drop myself to my own. And hire, we can hire, as you can see, there is different people for different rooms. There is of course the dance trainers, there is of course people in the recording studio that are going to both help you record but also train your idols when it comes to vocal training. And of course the people in the office, the dressing room for styling, and of course doctors, because as you will soon see, it is very important to keep your idols healthy both mentally and physically. So first of all, let's get ourselves someone to handle the business deals. As you can see, people specialize in different areas. For example, Otoshima Chihiro specializes in deals, but Ishiba Aika specializes in production. Right now, the most important part is getting deals. So let's go for Otoshima Chihiro. There we go. She can start working right away. And after that, let's get ourselves some idols. Let's see. You know what? I am going to start fairly big. I am going to, as you can see in the audition tab, there is local, regional, and nationwide. They are, of course, differently priced. If you are searching nationwide, you are almost guaranteed to get idols that are going to have really good stats, like a platinum idol, a gold idol. If you start local, of course, it's less likely, but it is still very good. For my first group, I need someone that is quite talented, so I will go with regional. Okay, so we can start time. While I am searching for idols, I can do research, for example. As you can see, my person in the office is doing research. This will count for points that will be useful later on in the research tab. It helps you, for example, the manager, it helps you create new concepts or offer different things with your singles. For example, handshake events, which are very popular actually, bikini PVs, of course, DVD specials, which are, DVDs, singles that come with videos, sorry, or different viral campaigns like scandals, etc, etc. And also you will be able to research to get better business contracts like photo shoots, advertisements, dramas, etc, etc. While we are waiting, we can create different rooms. Personally, I have found this might have changed. As I said, everything is still in beta, but the best strategy to start off, as I have found, is you need to produce singles right away. Doesn't matter if your idols don't have a lot of training, if they are not very good. Content is everything. You have to start producing right away if you don't want to lose a lot of money. So let's hire somebody to produce singles and recordings. I would say right now we need to focus on production. There we go. This Furusawa Morihiko. Let's assign him to the recording room. And what else? I guess we can. In the there is the main tab where you can promote, of course. This will help you get fans, or perform, which helps you not only get fans but also money. As soon as I have idols, you can also do spa treatments, which helps them mentally a lot. It helps them distress. As you can see, it can restore physical stamina too. So there we go, my additions are done. Let's check on the idols. Shibata Mai. Live fast, amplify stat loss due to aging. Oh, I see. That's not the best. But her stats are really good for starters, so well, if she graduates soon it shouldn't be a problem. Osaki Karen. Oh, she's so cute. Clemsy, penalty to dance, bonus to comedy. Oh, that's great, because later in the game you can do Mansai comedy. Especially older idols are really great at this. They are really great at being funny. Matsubara Erina. Oh, she's a silver idol actually. Amorous, more prone to romantic involvement. Her stats are really good though, so I wonder. Terui Elena. Defeatist. Penalty to stat when the group boost is low. Oh, I see. That's actually not very good, because as you will be able to see later on, most girls, when they are overworked, they lose mental health really fast. So, and Sawaki Aina, indiscreet, can't keep a secret, prone to leak information in interviews or social media. I mean, as long as you don't have a lot of scandals, that's reasonable enough. I am going, of course, for Matsubara Erina, which is very cute and also really good stats. Shibata Mai also got great stats, so let's go for her. And I wonder, Osaki Karen is really great. I mean, she can do Mansai later on. You know what? Let's get them all. They can graduate later if their group is not doing good. Well, I didn't know you'd be so beautiful in person. I'm sure it's going to be a real pleasure working with you. Man, it's good to be an idol. I won't hold anything back. You know what they say, work hard, party hard. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for teaching me. I told all my friends about it as soon as I found out. That's cute. She's so cute. I hope I do well now that I am finally joining the Machamochis. I guess it's all down to the look of the draw, right? Oops, I'm sorry about that. I didn't notice a step leading into your office because she's clumsy. That's really cute. Okay, let's get them to perform, I guess, so I can have some more solvency, which is not doing great right now. As you can see, you can actually... Oh, I can't? That's weird. But okay. Maybe it is because I am early in the game, but you usually can queue. actions. Let's see. Oh, I can already upgrade because I guess I have, yeah. The first requirement was to hire some idols and that's met, so wonderful. I will upgrade my performance, I guess, in my promotion too. Let's go. Let's do performances. Oh, is it queuing? Not at all, interestingly enough. Well, okay, so now that I have some idols, I think I should start producing singles. As I said, the most important thing here is producing content right away. So let's go. I will randomize the title because that's really fun. Let's see. Baby, I love to rock. That's very cute. Oh, I didn't unlock anything yet. I forgot about that. So, well, since everybody's doing research right now, oh, you can, oh, they updated it. Before you could only gain research points by letting time pass by you, but right now you can also buy research points, which is kinda neat as you're going to need them. So, well, right now I will just let time pass by. I can maybe talk to my idols to know more about them. You can socialize with them by dragging them to your office. And let's see, I can help her choose focus on what I want. For example, right now it's good to oh, I cannot choose yet, of course. Oh well, that makes things a little bit more difficult for me, so let's speed up time. Oh, let's have a casual conversation with her. How's it happening? Natsubara Irina shares her opinions about some recent gossip and talks about what her childhood dreams were. Oh, that's so cute. You also find out that Natsubara Irina loves Bollywood movies. Oh, that's so cute! Hey, I just wanted to see how you were doing. How's your first week on the job been? I'm doing fine. Hard to hear. I knew you would be a natural at this. I heard you already put on your first live performance. I did! I wish I could have been there, but a friend sent me pictures of the event. Small crowd, but everybody has to start somewhere, right? Holding performances can be a good way to get some spending money, but it might also be worthwhile for you to spend some time promoting the group. Getting more fans will ultimately benefit you a lot in the long term. Anyway, you might be interested to know that I recently tapped into my professional network and managed to get you a small mention on a local news broadcast. I also talked to several folks who run businesses in the area and got them to put up promotional materials for a while. It's not exactly making this the big time, but it will at least get attention of people who are nearby. That's great. That's generous of you. Hey, I am a stakeholder. What's good for you is good for me, right? Of course, I want to help you succeed. I can't do this sort of thing all the time, but I want to make sure you have a successful launch. And on a more personal level, I figured that if you know I'm going to do right by you, you will do right by me. You dig? Relationships are a two-way street. I'm hoping that in the future you will be in a position to return the favor. Of course, I don't mean to make this seem like a bigger deal than it is. More people in the area are going to have an awareness of your group. That doesn't automatically turn them into fans, but it does mean that when you promote the group, people will be more likely to pay attention. You might gain more fans than you would ordinarily thanks to a temporary boost. Due for performances, people are more likely to check out a group that they have been hearing of recently, so you might see a small boost in attendance and revenue. Anyway, this honeymoon period won't last forever. Try to make the most of it, okay? I see. So that's great, that's wonderful. I guess I gotta promote instead. That way I can get more fans, which are, in the end, one of the most important things that you can have. So, people still researching. Let's promote again. How much research points we have? Oh, managers, we can get digital only release already. Basically, we can release a digital single that won't have a physical copy, but which is great for producing music and getting more fans without having to spend a lot more money. Okay, my producer is also researching very fast, so very soon we will be able to produce our first single. There we go. I think that's enough, so let's go for... I would like to have a bit of a... let's see. Personally, I think I should go for a bit of a group that breaks the mold, so to say. Of course, depending on what you research and how you focus the concept of your group, you're going to get different sort of fans. Some of them are more casual, some of them are more committed, like actual quota gay type stuff. So you're going to have to carefully craft a strategy to get the best concept that gets you the most revenue. Of course, this is also the chart of the singles that are doing great. Here we see my competitor groups. As you can see, you can see which concepts are trending right now. For example, the most popular one is pop, and the lyrics are about friendship, and the choreo is kinda sexy, and it's got a lot of sales, almost 1 million. So that clues you in on what exactly is trending right now and what might people like. Personally, I have found that trying to keep a concept that is cohesive across singles might do you best. Don't follow trends always, but well, that's a strategy that you will have to craft for yourself. So as I said, perhaps I guess starting with happiness is a good look for my group. Let's go for that one. Cutesy groups are always nice. Let's do more promotion, and at this point I think we might have enough research points, even if with our music producer, to create... let's go for rock. Let's go for rock to attract more of a adult following, I guess. So let's see, let's produce a single, I guess. Let's start. This is a tab, new single. Wild Vibes, that's a really good look for a rock single. Let's see. I forgot about the choreography, that's really important too. Oh dear. I guess it has been a long while since I last played this game. Okay, so I created my dance room, and now I gotta hire someone in the staff tab. There we go. Hire. I guess going for production first is the most important. Even if your idols are not very good, getting the revenue first is what counts in this game. I don't mean that's what counts in the real idol world, but hello ma'am, you can call me by my name. Oh, alright then, are you sure that's alright? I am not really in the habit of addressing superiors by the given name, so I might slip back into habit. I hope that's not a problem. Oh, that's... Yes, I am so sorry, I don't want to inconvenience you. Anyway, I wanted to ask you about a few things. Specifically, we need to set a number of guidelines for how the girls behave and how the events are run. It can be chaotic if things aren't consistent, of course. I think it's best to have a set policy in place so that everyone is working with the same rule book, so to speak. That's a very good idea. What policies do you recommend? Well, I am not sure I'd recommend any specific set of policies. Different organizations have different set of rules, and each set of rules has its own pros and cons. The policies that the Machamochis has will be a part of what sets it apart from the other groups. I guess so. I guess that's really true. Of course, nothing is set in stone. You can always change if your mind if you don't like the current set of policies. In fact, it is pretty common for new groups to be flexible when they first start off and adapt their policies depending on what seems to work best. That's good. That way we can't switch policies if they are not working very well. The longer you stick with a given policy, the more people come to expect. certain things from you. When an organization gains more of a reputation and people get more used to running things a certain way, changing policies can take a while and you might have to wait longer for the benefits to show up. That's understandable. But since we are a young organization, we have time to change things around. So if you're a bit unsure, no need to stress about a particular policy decision. You can always adjust it later. Sorry, that was probably a bit more explanation than you needed. You're the boss. You don't need me to explain to you how your organization works. In fact, you're supposed to be the one who tells everyone else how things work. So with that in mind, what kind of business proposals do you think will be the most promising? For starters, personally, I have found that photo shoots are quick and easy, especially when you don't really have a following yet. Of course, getting variety shows and TV dramas are going to be really difficult if you are not well known yet. So photo shoots are fast, easy, and they work great to get you seen, so to say. So let's go with photo shoots. Photo shoots are one-time gigs, so they work for a quick infusion of cash without having to worry about long-term contracts. If you're looking to maximize short-term revenue, it's hard to do better than a photo shoot. Do you want me to focus on photo shoots? Yes. Alright, mom, sounds good. Of course, it never hurts to change things up, depending on what direction the company is going on. So you can always adjust our group's policy on which type of business proposals to focus on. Of course, while I might be focused on trying to get a certain kind of business proposal, sometimes other opportunities will fall into your lap. I'll be sure to let you know about those when they come up, even if they are not the kind of business deal we're focusing on at the moment. Sorry if it sounded like I was second guessing you there. Business proposals are kind of my area of expertise, so I just wanted to make sure you were aware of all the options before you made your decision. My next few questions would be a bit simpler and more straightforward. Recently, I have been thinking about the branding of the matcha mochis. What kind of vibe do you want people to associate with our group? Personally, I think cool is really nice, like breaking the mold a little bit, like Kesikaya or something like that. Nice choice. I will try hard to make sure we're cultivating that kind of aesthetic. Or well, maybe I shouldn't do that, because apparently being a tryhard isn't very cool. Maybe I will try just a little. I think we can manage that. Alright, another burning question. It's about the kind of fans we're trying to attract. What kind of image are we trying to project? I guess rebellious. It's always good to break the mold. That way people remember you, remember your face. Interesting choice. A rebellious image will make it harder to get good business proposals, but projecting an aura of rebelliousness should make us more appealing to younger fans. Oopsie. That's not what I wanted to do. Misclick. And but projecting an aura of rebelliousness should make us more appealing to younger fans. And what kind of image also seems to be popular among female fans as well? Oh, that's good, because female fans, they also they are more casual, but they spend more money in this game. Okay, now for a question about screening coming talent. We can conduct a background check during the recruitment process. A more rigorous background check will make the recruitment more expensive, but it can help filter out more developers. How extensive do you want our background checks to be? Oh, I think a basic one for now is pretty okay. Just the basics, huh? That should help us screen some of the more problematic candidates. We also need to talk about social media, since anything that idols post online is going to reflect on the organization. Part of the idol contracts allows us to set rules governing the public social media use. What kind of policy do you want regarding social media? Personally, no restrictions. I mean, being an idol is about being original, unfiltered, so to say. People really want to see your personality, I guess. So even if sometimes you make some fuck, I think that can be both good and bad, so to say. So no restrictions, I guess. Allowing girls to post directly to social media should increase fan engagement. Hopefully harassment isn't too much of a problem. That's true, I should have looked out for that. On a related note, we should figure out what to allow during live streams, if we want to allow them at all. They can be a good source of exposure, but there is always a risk of scandal. Personally, I think no restrictions is okay. People want to see raw and unfiltered idols, so I think it's great to let them have some freedom. That's good for the mental health too. No restrictions, Live streams these days are kind of the frontier of digital media, and staying ahead of the curve can be kind of stressful. On the other hand, it can also be a great way to propel the careers of individual idols apart from group activities. Oh, another thing, we need to have a dating policy in place. There are more, shall we say, invested fans who don't like the idea of idols dating. They think it ruins part of the appeal. On the other hand, not allowing idols to date is the kind of thing that would seem draconian to less invested fans, and that might be a bit of a turn-off for them. And that's completely apart from the impact that romance can have on an idol's life on an individual basis. There are a lot of emotional highs and lows that come from the dating scene, and while romance can boost someone's self-esteem, it could just as easily end up being a distraction. There's also the fact that what kind of dating policy we set will affect how dating scandals are seen by the public. If we have strict rules against dating, then anything remotely scandalous is going to be much more of a bigger deal than if we were more permissive. On the other hand, having a loose and flexible policy makes it more likely that scandals will happen in the first place. We could also try to hedge our bets a little by not setting an official policy. And no matter what kind of dating policy we have, it probably won't do anything to discourage idols from becoming romantically involved within the group. That kind of thing has been known to happen, though if it's just an internal thing, it's easier to keep that kind of thing under wraps, so it probably wouldn't be an issue regardless. Personally I think let's go wild, I don't mind. Let them have some fun. Romance is an important part of life for everyone, so restricting that kind of thing, I have more of a modern approach when it comes to idols, I guess. Doors wide open, huh? Alright, I'll admit that's a more modern approach, but it's becoming more and more common for idols groups to permit that sort of thing. One last thing related to finances, or more specifically salaries. One of the things I have been thinking about is proactively offering the talent pay raises in order to keep them satisfied. The way it is now, the only time idol salaries can increase is if you change them yourself. But if you authorize me to offer them incremental pay bumps, I could keep an eye on the girls which seem to be less satisfied with their pay and give them a slight pay bump to keep them satisfied. That seems like a good policy. How do you want me to handle idol salaries? Well, I think we should keep idol satisfaction at a reasonable level, yeah. I mean, right now we don't have a lot of money, so keeping it at a moderate level seems like a safe policy than what Backrub does. Okay, sounds good. I will adjust idol salaries if their satisfaction seems to be dipping too low. Hey boss, are you... Oh, sorry, am I interrupting anything? Not at all, we were just wrapping up some discussion of the group's policies. Hey, that's good thinking. Have you set any policies on things like event security? That's a very important one. No, actually, but that's a great point. In fact, we should probably decide right now. Yeah, we need to figure out what security policy is going to be at events where the idols interact with fans. Live appearances, handshake events, that sort of thing. Hardcore fans don't like seeing security guards everywhere, but having good security in place will make the girls feel safer. What level of security should we have at events? Personally, I think normal for now, we don't have too many hardcore fans that might do weird stuff, and keeping the girls safe and happy is always a good policy, so normal I think is fine. Got it! We'll do everything by the book, standard stuff. While we are on the topic of live events, I have been focusing a lot on dance choreography. More specifically, I have been thinking about clothing choices and how skirts can make certain kind of wardrobe accidents more likely. Depending on the dance moves, fans might see a bit more than we want them to see, if you get my drift. That's a thing that's kind of important. I'm sure that hardcore fans would get a huge kick out of seeing the girls in short skirts, but less hardcore fans aren't as into that kind of thing. If we go with longer skirts, some of the male fans wouldn't be too happy with that choice, but it would probably go over better with female fans, and it would still please some of the hardcore fans without alienating the more casual ones. Or as a bit of a compromise, we could have girls wear short skirts with safety shorts, less risks of a wardrobe malfunction, and that would keep the hardcore fans more relatively happy without alienating anyone. Of course, we could always touch the issue entirely and just have them wear pants instead. More and more groups are doing it these days, and from what I hear, a lot of casual fans find that look more appealing, especially guys in the audience. Hardcore fans probably prefer the more traditional look with skirts, so how do we handle clothing for dance performances? Personally, we are going with a cool look, so pants might be a great idea. Like, pants always have that super cool kinda vibe, so to say, so let's go with pants. Going for that modern look, huh? Cool. I imagine most of the girls will be wearing skirts and more traditional dress outside of concerts, but costume changes are pretty common for concerts anyway, so I don't expect it to complicate things too much. I'll make a note of that. Thanks for bringing it up. Oh, one last thing. I know this is kind of a subjective question, but when it comes to live performances, which do you think is better, quality or energy? Personally, I think balance is good. Like, yeah, people love to see energy, but if your dancing gets sloppy, that might distract a lot from your performance. So I guess balance is good. You know, I think you might be right. That's kind of a poor answer, but having a super polished performance or a super energetic performance can take a lot of energy. It can be nice when you have a concert that goes well because the girls practice really hard, or because they were giving it their all and not holding anything back. Pushing them too hard can lead to burnout. A more balanced approach might be better in the long term. Yeah, I think so too. Of course, if you ever change your mind, you can always change the group policies. Yes, I'll draft up a list of group policies based on our discussion today, but you can modify them at any time. If you're unsure, my personal recommendation would be to experiment early on and see what works best for you. Once we actually start getting into production mode and start recording music and doing live performances, changing policies will take longer, so it's best to decide these kind of things early on if you can. Thanks for your time, Mom. I look forward to working with the Matamojis. I know we're just starting out, but I've got a really good feeling about how things are going to go. Okay, so we are getting started here. We got a little group going. Oh my. Hi Mom, I just wanted to check in since I have been working here for 1 month. I want to make sure that I am doing the best work I can for the Matamojis. And thought that maybe if we had a shot, we could take a closer look at what I am doing right now and what we could improve on. That's some good initiative on your part. You're great. Thank you, Mom. Part of my job is keeping the things at the Matamojis running smoothly, and that concludes evaluating my own performance. Lately, you haven't assigned any specific tasks to me, so I have been using my available time to do research. Of course, research is important. It's how we discover new marketing techniques, for example. That can be an important part of releasing new singles. But I haven't had the chance to hunt down any business deals, agreements with other companies for things like photo shoots, advertisements, and things like that. I'll do whatever you tell me to do, and if you want me to keep doing research, that's okay, but maybe if it would be worthwhile for me to start doing business deals. It would be a good way to generate some immediate cash flow for the Matamojis. Let me know if you'd like to start doing that. If you'd like me to start generating business deals, just find me in my office. Let's left click and you can tell me to either generate a single business proposal, or if you'd like me to continuously work on business proposals, select auto proposal. If you think our group needs more money, it might be worthwhile to put me on auto proposal mode. That way I can just spend all of my free time looking for new proposals without needing to keep close tabs on me. And don't worry, I'll post whatever business proposal I'm working on if you need me to work on the marketing plan for a new single or something like that. Of course, the downside of being in auto proposal mode is I only have time to do research when I am not working on something else. So it's up to you to decide whether my free time should be spent formulating business proposals or doing research. Oh, thanks for letting me know. My pleasure, man. Anyway, if you'd like me to start working on business proposals, just let me know. You can always find me in my office. That's wonderful. She's working on research, so am I, so is our producer and our dancer. So well, we've got a group going, and I think that's a pretty good spot to leave it for today as I'm running out of time. Thank you very much for having spent this wonderful time with me. If you like to see more of this kind of content, please hit like and subscribe, and of course leave me some comments, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.